The four of us have come together to do this figure book for a combination of reasons. The four of us love to draw, and there just isn't much out there by way of showing the figure in drawing. Drawing is still kind of considered a poor substitute in art, the poor cousin. And figure, there seems to be more attention given to figure that is costumed or figure in settings, not just the human form. And one of the things that I really enjoy is the challenge, the complexity of drawing the human body. It's the ultimate in organic. You have to do it accurately because it's immediately apparent if you don't. And I find that it just improves everything else that I do when I'm in a groove and can really do that well. While I work with various mediums, and really kind of across the board, drawing is really my passion. I sort of hate to use the term mark making because that's a little bit overused these days, in my opinion. But I love the mark making. I love the immediacy of handling charcoal or a pencil and putting it on paper. I love the connection between what's happening on the paper and my arm and my brain. Working with Conti. Generally, I work in charcoal, just black and white, but I've been doing a little more with color. And as challenging as it is, I'm finding I like it. This is an incredible older gentleman who models for us. This is perhaps one of my most favorite drawings out of this whole stack. This was done just recently. And the light against this model, against her braid, against the upper part of her chest, was so pretty. It was cold in the studio, it was cold in our space, so she had her robe sort of draped around her. So the little bit of drapery, I think, adds a pretty line to it. And just the way she's sitting with the darkness behind her. It's one of my favorite, and I think it's one of my more successful ones. I'll look forward to seeing how this is framed. Drawing the figure is the most challenging for a couple different reasons. One is because we're all different. Not just obviously men and women, but we're short, we're tall. So each model, each person has different characteristics from the next. So that can make it challenging. We have an innate sense of looking at something and knowing in terms of a figure whether it's right or not. Even people who don't draw can look at a drawing of a person and, wow, that head doesn't look right. Well, the head's too small, and that's a common mistake. Or the hands aren't quite right. It's also a very common mistake. But when you make mistakes drawing trees or flowers or buildings or almost anything else, there isn't the sense of wrongness about it. And when you're drawing a tree or a house, there's a stationary to it. When you're working with the figure, there's movement. And it can be really challenging to try to capture that movement.